The corridors of Westbridge High School buzzed with the same mindless chatter every morning, lockers slamming, sneakers squeaking, laughter bouncing off the linoleum floor like rubber balls. But beneath the ordinary rhythm of school life, there pulsed an undercurrent, invisible to most, but sharp like broken glass to those who felt it. Amara Jordan, a quiet 16-year-old girl with smooth umber skin and a crown of tight curls tied into a low puff, walked those halls like a ghost, not because she was unnoticed. No, everyone noticed her, but because they had decided she didn't matter. She was the girl with thrift store clothes, the girl who rarely spoke, the one who ate alone near the art room during lunch. She didn't fight back, she didn't scream, she just endured. But what they didn't know, what no one had ever asked, was why she endured. Chapter 1. The weight of silence. Amara had mastered invisibility. She'd learned it from her mother, who worked night shifts and barely smiled, and from her grandfather, a former Marine who rarely talked but whose eyes told stories too heavy for words. He had trained Amara since she was 5, not to fight, but to control. Discipline is power, baby girl, he would say. Anyone can throw a punch, not everyone can hold one back. And so, Amara walked away, every time, from the gum stuck to her chair, from the cruel notes passed in math class, from the day someone whispered loud enough for her to hear, "She probably sleeps in a garbage can." She walked away when it hurt, when it burned, when the tears sat behind her eyelids, begging for release. But Tuesday, the second week of April, something changed. Chapter 2. The snap. It started like any other day. The sky was cloudy, the cafeteria smelled of wet pizza and disinfectant, and the world kept spinning, just as unfair as ever. Amara was at her locker, quietly swapping out her worn chemistry book, when Macy Granger strutted over with her 2 shadows, Lexi and Britt. They were the unspoken queens of junior year. Rich, cruel, and bored. Macy was tall, blonde, with eyes like chipped ice and a voice coated in sugar when adults were around, venom when they weren't. "Hey," she said sweetly, leaning against Amara's locker door. "That's your lunch bag. Or did you find it in the janitor's closet?" Amara didn't respond. "She probably doesn't speak English." Britt snorted. Lexi giggled. Macy leaned closer, her voice turning low and sharp. "What's the matter? Too good to answer? Or just too scared?" Then, without warning, Macy reached out and grabbed Amara by the collar. It wasn't a push. It wasn't playful. It was domination, a message to everyone watching. Amara stumbled back a step. Gasps rose in the hallway, but she didn't flinch. She stood still, her hands at her sides, her gaze steady. Then slowly she reached up and gently removed Macy's hand from her shirt, finger by finger. There was something deliberate about it, something terrifying. Macy tried to speak, but the words dried in her mouth. And then Amara said, for the first time in public, a single sentence, "Don't do that again." Chapter 3. The shift whispers spread like wildfire. Amara Jordan spoke. Amara Jordan touched Macy Granger. Amara Jordan said don't. That afternoon, the girls tried again. It wasn't in the hallway. It was in the back parking lot, where the cameras didn't reach, where kids with bruises learned to lie and teachers turned blind. They were waiting. This time, with laughter already bubbling. "Look who thinks she's tough now." Lexi smirked. "You're gonna wish you kept your mouth shut," Britt said. But Macy didn't laugh. She stepped forward and shoved Amara hard, both hands to the chest. Amara staggered, caught her balance. That's when it happened. The invisible thread that held her silence, that sacred thread, woven by years of discipline and patience, finally snapped, but not in rage. In clarity, Amara stepped forward. Slowly. "You really want to do this?" Macy laughed nervously, confused. "What?" Amara set down her backpack. The crowd, now a half-circle of students who had followed them out, went silent. And then, she moved, not wildly, not with fists flailing, but with purpose. In one smooth motion, she pivoted, deflected Macy's next shove with her palm, and twisted Macy's arm gently behind her back, not hurting her, just immobilizing. Everyone froze. Lexi took a step forward. Amara turned her head and whispered, "Don't." Lexi stopped. Macy squealed, "Let go of me." Amara released her. No punches, no screaming, just a show of undeniable power. Chapter 4. Who is she? The silence afterward wasn't peace. It was reverence. By the next morning, students watched her with new eyes. The same whispers that used to mock her were now filled with questions. I heard she's a black belt. Nah, her uncle's like special forces or something. She caught Macy's arm mid-air. She ignored them. She still ate near the art room, still read during lunch. But now no one bothered her, except one person, a boy named Jordan. Tall, brown-skinned, with soft eyes and a chipped tooth. He walked up to her at lunch. Hey, that was wild. She looked up from her book. Was it? You didn't even hit her. I didn't need to. He grinned. That's badass. She smiled barely and returned to her page. Chapter 5. The sit-down principal called her in. Parents were alerted. Macy, full of humiliation, claimed assault. But the video, shaky from someone's phone, showed otherwise: clear restraint, clear self-control, clear non-violence. Still, they punished her with 2 days suspension. Zero-tolerance policy. The principal shrugged. Her grandfather picked her up that day in his old truck. He didn't say much as they drove, but as they pulled into their driveway, he looked at her and said, "You didn't break your promise. I'm proud of you." She blinked. "I wanted to. I know. That's why it mattered more that you didn't." Chapter 6. The change when she returned. No one dared mess with her, but more importantly, others started sitting with her. A girl from sophomore year, a boy from the chess club, someone she'd seen crying in the bathroom last month. They sat with her not because they were brave, but because she had been brave first. And then came the invitation. A flyer slipped into her locker. Speak at the school assembly, on strength and silence. She read it twice. She didn't want the stage, but she knew what it could mean. Chapter 7. The voice. The auditorium was packed. Teachers lined the sides. Students fidgeted in the red velvet seats. The principal stood near the edge, tight-lipped. Amara stepped up to the microphone. She wore her school uniform. No makeup, no performance. Just truth. "My name is Amara Jordan," she began. "Some of you know me as that girl who flipped Macy Granger. Some of you didn't know me at all until last week." Pause. "I've been bullied since 7th grade. Not for something I did, but just for being quiet, for looking different, for not playing the game." Murmurs, shifts in chairs. "But what you don't know is, I could have fought back a long time ago. I didn't, because I was taught that real strength isn't loud. It's silent, it's measured, it's the moment you choose peace, even when war is easier." The room hushed. "I didn't put Macy on the ground. I didn't break her nose. I just reminded her, and all of you, that I exist, and I matter. Just like the kid you laugh at during lunch. Just like the girl you call weird. Just like every person who walks these halls hoping not to be noticed." Tears shimmered in a few eyes. "My name is Amara Jordan, and I'm not invisible anymore." She walked off stage to a silence that was deeper than applause. Chapter 8. The ripple. That week, something changed at Westbridge. People looked up more, watched their words, asked questions, helped when they saw someone drop their books. It didn't fix everything, but it started something. And one afternoon, when Macy Granger passed Amara in the hallway, she didn't smirk. She didn't speak. She just nodded. A small, hesitant, human nod. And Amara, after a pause, nodded back. Chapter 9. Home. Later that night, Amara sat in her room. Her martial arts belts hung quietly above her desk. She took down the black one, the final belt she'd earned when she was 12, and she smiled. Not because of the belt, not because of the assembly, but because she had finally used everything she'd ever learned, not to win a fight, but to avoid one. She picked up her journal and wrote just 6 words. "I stood still. They saw me.